You're listening to the best of what radio was, is going to be.
Everything you want to hear from the voice of Cerritos College, WPN Beyond the Nest, where people make a difference.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Falcon Spotlight. This is the first show of the semester, and I am here with my guest. At this time, I'd like my guest to please introduce himself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jose Fierro, and I'm the President Superintendent at Cerritos College. And I'm really excited to be here this morning with Rob.
Cool. Now, when did you officially start?
My first day at the office was July 6th, but I was working prior to that. I attended a few meetings first week of July, so essentially I started unofficially probably around July 1st, but my first day at the office was the 6th.
And how do you like it so far?
So far it's great. I have had a very nice and warm welcome by everyone at the college and the community. I have had the pleasure of meeting a lot of faculty, staff, students, community members, elected officials, so it has been a great experience so far.
Great. So one of the things I always enjoy to do, especially when I have somebody that's not a student, is, tell us your story. Tell us, did you know right away what did you want to specialize in, straight out of high school, or did you have a, different major or anything like that?
Well, I didn't really think that I was going to end up in teaching. It was an opportunity that was presented to me later on in life, and I was fortunate enough to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change anything. I really enjoy teaching and education, and obviously academic administration, and now having the opportunity to serve as the president of Cerritos College it's just an amazing experience. My college initially was on the science, and that's essentially what I did. I really didn't switch majors or anything. Once I started college, I just simply stayed on the sciences until eventually I graduated with a degree in veterinary medicine. And once I was working as a veterinarian was when I had the opportunity to teach and to do a little bit of guest speaking on classrooms. And once I found out that that's something that I really, really enjoy, I decided to go back to school and get additional education in order to learn a little bit more about the education system and how it works and how to be an effective teacher. So I ended up going and getting a master's degree and a PhD in addition to my doctoral degree in veterinary medicine.
Cool. A little bit closer.
All
right. And so I know sometimes it could be a struggle, especially, as far as, books can sometimes be expensive and so forth. Did you have any jobs while you were going to school? What did you do?
I did. I did actually work, even when I was in high school and probably middle school. I worked every summer and every Christmas break. So I work during those breaks in order to obviously help with my clothes and different things that I will want in addition to my materials for school. And once I started college, I work every semester during the evenings, on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but most frequently Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, to help pay for again some of my expenses. And I did that all the way until I entered clinicals when I was in vet school, because at the time it was very difficult to maintain employment and do well in school. So probably the last year I did not work in order to try to do well academically. And once I got out and I started teaching, I earned my master's degree and my PhD working as a full-time faculty member, and I think at the end of my PhD I was working already as an administrator.
Nice. We'll be right back after these public service announcements.
The story of rock and roll has been a fascinating 50 years worth of genius, innovation, folly, and tragedy. Mike Stark has covered it all in his brilliant music magazine, Rock 50. You can hear the best of this outstanding series every day, 7 days a week at 6 a.m. Pacific. It's the best of rock and roll on the Best of Rock 50 with Mike Stark, mornings at 6 Pacific, only on WPMD on the net, where people make a difference.
Yeah, it's right now it's on WPMDonthenet.com. Yeah, so it's live streamed through there, and then also through the smartphone app.
Introducing a breakthrough in time management technology. A whole new day of the week. It's called Someday. It's
Well,
ingenious.
basically what we do is we
Perhaps
use the
someday
fan page.
you were going to go
Each of us
skydiving.
We'll have one for our show, and then
Enter a
check
hot
the
dog eating
lights.
contest.
Like that. Yeah.
Maybe ride a mechanical bull.
So we play two
Now,
electronic
it's
ones,
on
and
the
then we
calendar.
read a script.
You may want to retire someday. Ready for that? Then you'll really want a My Social Security account at socialsecurity.gov. You can estimate your future benefits, plan for your retirement, and how to save for it. If you already receive benefits, you can manage them online. Millions of people already have a My Social Security account. In fact, someone opens one about every 6 seconds. You should get yours today, because someday is here at socialsecurity.gov.
If you could give a child a safe place to go to school, would you? What about helping kids get better grades and go to college? Or give them time to explore new worlds and discover hidden talents? You can help. We all can. By showing support for after-school programs in America today, 15 million children are alone after school. Help give them a place to go. Go to afterschoolalliance.org to find a Lights On after-school event in your community. A public service message from the After School Alliance and WPMD on the net, where people make a difference. And we are back. I'm your host, Rob JF, here on Falcon Spotlight at Cerritos College, Norwalk, California. And I'm back here with my guests. So, how did you know you wanted to be in veterinarian? Like, what got your start to your interests?
Well, my dad was a veterinarian. He wasn't a practicing veterinarian. He actually worked in agricultural research for the most part. So I guess growing up, that was sort of the model that I had to go by, and some of his friends all were in similar areas. So obviously I developed an interest for science and medicine. So on the fields that I was debating to go into were all medicine and science related. So it was either dental school, med school, trying to go to veterinary medicine, or straight into biological sciences. So it was mostly, the science influence that I had at home and by my dad's friends and so on.
And did you grow up with siblings?
I have a sister. And she is an optometrist. So she had similar influence. So we both wanted to go into the sciences or medicine when we were growing up.
Did you get to go to the same school?
No, we did not. We didn't even attend the same K through 12 system. We both attended different schools and different colleges. I think it was It was good. I think it was a good thing that my parents sort of made us go to different schools in order for us to develop our own personalities and our own friendships and relations in different places.
And then, how long did it take for, did you have to do training before you can get to, I don't know, like maybe internships in order to, in the field? Or?
Yes, and that's what I was meaning with my last year of clinicals. During the last year of clinicals, you specialize on different branches based on your interests, and then you get the opportunity to do 6 months to a year on an internship, if you will, right after graduation. And I chose to do mine with the mounted police in Colombia, so I had the opportunity to work with horses and dogs at the National Police in Colombia at the time.
Cool. And so when it comes to veterinarian, like once you have your degree, you can practice always, or is there something you have to apply for?
You have to, once you graduate, you become eligible to sit down to become for a license. So you need to have a license in order to practice. In the United States, there is a national exam that you have to pass, a national board, and then in the state board. The state board allows you to practice at the state level. The national board allows you to sit for your state certification. And depending on the state where you want to work, the requirements are, could vary. So some may have higher or lower requirements, but for the most part, the requirements to practice veterinary medicine are quite high.
Are you active here, or?
No, I have not. I have no practice since I was in Orlando, I believe. That was so long ago. Once I started teaching, I liked it so much, and I got so involved in it that I literally stopped practicing. It was a complete switch for me. And as I said before, I wouldn't do it any other way.
I think it's pretty cool, having, a background like that. I know that I think there's an actor, the comedian, I forget his name, but he has his doctor's license, and he could be a doctor when he quits acting.
Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah.
No, is it? No, that is not. No, he plays a doctor on TV. He's not a doctor. I don't remember what. I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember.
So it's pretty interesting. And then your other degrees, what are the different areas and concentration?
They both were in education, with the PhD being mostly focused on administration. So higher education administration was the main concentration of the PhD. By the time I finished with my master's degree, I was convinced that I wanted to go into administration, so I wanted to be prepared the best I could in order to assume new roles in education.
And then, so while you already had gotten your the higher education, how did you get your start with teaching? Did you teach high school, or what did you start with?
Well, it was interesting. I was working at a clinic, and I had a client, and she was the director of a vet tech program, and she invited me to do a guest lecture. For the longest time, I told her no, because I didn't know, that I could teach, and I didn't know what to say. I really and truly didn't think I had the skills to do it. So she eventually convinced me, and I ended up going to speak with the students a couple of times, until eventually I went so many times that I became somewhat of a regular speaker in their classes. And a full-time teaching position open at the school where this program was, and I applied for it, and I was offered the position, but there was a hiring freeze around 9/11, if you remember. And obviously they didn't hire during that period of time, so I continued to look into it, and eventually I ended up applying to a community college called Polk Community College in Florida, and then I moved to a full-time teaching position at Valencia College in Orlando, Florida. So it was a combination of events that led into me being able to teach full-time at the college and eventually get tenured and move into administration.
And what did you do after, like, you know, you moved up from professor to like what, dean and stuff? Or
Yeah, so I started obviously teaching, and I became tenured relatively quickly due to some changes and to my participation on some campus-wide projects that allowed me to be recognized sooner than I will have any other way. And about 2 years after I started teaching, I had the opportunity to become the equivalent of a department chair. So essentially I was a program coordinator for anatomy and physiology and microbiology. So they will be the equivalent of a department chair. And shortly after that, I was able to move into an associate dean, a dean position. And my last position was vice president until I made it here to Cerritos College as the president superintendent.
Nice. And so the subjects that you taught were all in the sciences as well. Did you? What was the most struggling type of subjects? I know that sometimes most of us is math.
Let's see. The class that I struggle a lot with. I struggle with anatomy, which is kind of funny because I end up really liking it and teaching anatomy. But the class that I struggled the most wasn't in the science. It was agricultural economics. I think I had to repeat that class when I was in college. Other than that, I really didn't have a lot of issues with academics. I had to put a lot of time in it. But I would say I think it was agricultural economics that I had to repeat.
And how did you deal with time management, having to work, and then homework and all that? You know, sometimes some people, they get stressed out with balancing both things.
That is a really good question, Rob. And I usually keep lists, and at the time I still do. Obviously, I have gotten a little better at keeping lists and track of what I do, but I have always kept a list of things that I have to do, so I break my time based on the different activities I need to do. So for me, first and foremost, is at the time was obviously going to school, then it was second going to work, and last was going out or spending time with friends. So I kept my list based on priorities, and depending on whether or not I have more or less homework, I literally decrease the amount of time that I will have to spend with friends. So during the week, I usually didn't spend any time with friends. My time to spend with friends was usually during the weekends, depending on how much work I needed to do, because obviously, as you know, going to school full time and trying to work 3-4 days a week, it gets cumbersome. So I kept a lot of lists, prioritize a lot. I still do that to this day. I start my day very early in the morning, around 5 a.m. and I had a specific routine that I follow from the moment I get up until the moment I make it to work. And before I go to sleep. The only days that I do break the routine a little bit is Friday afternoons, which I'll do organize depending on how the week is going, and the weekends. But I still reserve a couple hours to catch up, and a couple hours on Sunday to get ready for the week. So I do a lot of prioritization.
And then, I know that lots of people, throughout college, eventually they'll find maybe a club that they enjoyed. Were you active on campus with the activities? Were you part of like fraternities or anything?
No, I really wasn't. I wasn't very involved with organized groups on campus. I participated on sports. I played soccer for a little bit. I was a goalie, so that was probably my connection to campus. I participated on I volunteer to help on the clinical rotations before I got to that level. So when I had time, I volunteered at the college clinic, animal clinic, to try to learn and shadow people and see what they did. But my main involvement with like student activities was when I was playing soccer.
And how long did you play soccer for?
I played all through high school and my first couple of years of college.
Did you get to play on the team, or this was just a class?
I did play on a couple of teams for my high school. I did play on the team consistently, and at the college, I made it to the main team once, and then it was just the smaller teams within the institution that we play. I was a goalie, and obviously it was a lot of competition, and I'm vertically challenged, so it didn't work for me quite as well as I was hoping. Plus, I didn't really have hopes of going professional or anything as a goalie.
Cool. Was that the only sport that you played, or in high school, or?
No, I was very active in sports. I played tennis. I ran. I played a lot of ping pong. So I was very active in sports. Whether I was part of a team or not, I stayed quite active in different sports during high school and during my college years. I also played volleyball. I just like to exercise, so I did it mostly for the exercise.
Cool. Sometimes I know that people don't think that adults have time to or have ever chilled out and relaxed, and it's interesting to ask adults usually have they played video games.
I do. I play a soccer game sometimes when I get home and it has been a long day and I just want to sort of take my mind away from everything. I have a soccer video game and a Formula One driving game. So I play a little bit, and that relaxes me, takes my mind away from reality for a little bit, and I do that every so frequently. I don't have a lot of time to do it, but I do it maybe once or twice a week, depending of the time I have. And as I said, it helps me sort of take my mind away from the job and other things.
Oh, and I know that usually the upper management and stuff, they all have different meetings. Like just last year, I was just learning about that shared governance exists. I didn't know what shared governance was or anything.
Yeah.
I can only imagine, you must have a ton of meetings. What does your day consist of? How many meetings in the whole week you have?
I do have a lot of meetings with a lot of people. My job requires me to meet with a lot of people, on campus, outside of campus, and public engagements. So depending on the week, I can have my first meeting at 8:30 in the morning, and probably my last one at 8, 9, or 10 p.m. in the evening sometimes. That isn't every day, but oftentimes I won't get, normal arrival time for when I get home is about 7:30 p.m. or 8, depending. That's usually true on Monday through Thursday, rarely on Fridays, but it does happen. So my calendar is pretty busy, so let's look at these here. So for instance, today I started at 9, and I have meetings all the way until 6. So, and all of those are, updates that I receive from different employees at the college, updates that I provide to our board members, meeting with the students, listening to constituents, like you mentioned, for instance, chair governors. So I meet with the faculty senate president, I meet with the unions in order to understand what is happening on campus. So my job is a lot of meetings, and in between I try to get other things done, but I do have to meet with people a lot in order to stay informed and help direct the institution, and obviously allowed others to help me direct the institution as they see how things work from their perspective.
Perfect. And I always usually ask my guests this question, but normally I ask them what was their goal for the semester and what is their goal after Cerritos, but you're just starting Cerritos.
I am just starting Cerritos. Hopefully I'm here for a long time.
So, do you have anything set in mind that you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I want to get to know the college. I want to get to meet everyone at the college. But most importantly, I want to start conversations on campus around student academic excellence and how we transform Cerritos into a student-centered institution. So we will be scheduling a number of conversations for everyone to attend, the students, faculty, staff, administrators, everyone at the college and the community to attend and have conversations about what does it mean for Cerritos College academic excellence, and what does it mean for Cerritos to be a student-centered institution. And I hope to have meaningful conversations with everyone, collect a lot of information during those conversations, and move into the next year with that information to start carving a joint vision as to where we want to take the institution into the future in the next 5 and 10 years.
And then, what are the ways that people can contact you as well?
Email, phone, stop by my office. I'm also in social media. I have a Twitter account and an Instagram account, so I get sometimes Twitters or Instagram by students or some of our faculty. I get a lot of email as well, so I'm very accessible. Not only I have to talk to people, but I actually do like to talk to people and listen to the different perspectives. So stopping by my office is always an option. I'm pretty open to conversation and meeting with people.
And what is your usernames for the social media?
My Twitter is at... Oh, let me check it out. I don't remember. I think it's at... Let's see. At DRJFIERR with the lower dash. That would be my Twitter name, and my Instagram name is at Cerritos Press with one S. That will be my Instagram.
We will be right back after these public service announcements.
Hey everybody, I'm Casey Petrowski. For more years than most of us can remember, the amazing story of the Beatles has been unfolding in front of us. A fascinating, one-of-a-kind story that we look at bit by bit on The Beatles Show. And we give it to you 8 days a week here on WPMB. New episodes every Tuesday night at 8 Pacific, classic episodes every morning at 8 Pacific. Hear what all the mania for the last 50 years has been about. Join us for The Beatles Show here on WPMB on the net, where people make a difference.
got adopted.
So you play music
To
here?
know the full story
we
of
have
what really
CD
happened.
players here.
She has since she's 17.
We have,
I know that she wanted us to have
Discord
a better
that we
life.
can connect to
The
our,
way she saw things going, it wasn't a good
device.
environment to
Some people
raise a
would like
kid.
to bring the laptop in case,
The fact that
because
she
some
did
of them
that
are
just shows how strong
like
of a
big
woman my
on
mother
being
is.
DJs.
Yeah.
So we've
To just be
had
given
people
a
that
chance
DJ
to
at
be
clubs
who
and
she wanted
stuff.
us to be.
So
It's just,
they actually
I mean,
can
awesome.
bring in their laptop, and they usually already
And I
have their music.
thank her
all
each and every day
Yeah.
for it. I wouldn't be the person who I am today.
But
And I like the person I
normally
am
just the
today.
basics. It's just a CD
I've
player
learned that love
Where did you get the
is
CDs from?
what makes people who they
we
are.
personally usually bring
I
our
learned that
own
love
to go ahead
helps
and
make the hard
record our
decisions.
own
Without love,
stuff
you
for our
can't know
purposes,
nurturing,
saving
and without
picture
nurturing, you
our
can't
portfolio.
grow. I knew I was loved, and I
But
was
we
part
are
of a family,
encouraged
so that
also
was
to,
what's
once we
important
record
to
our
me.
show,
For more
we can
information,
upload it on
visit
that and get
iChooseAdoption.org.
programmed.
I'm Christopher, and I'm Christopher, and our mom chose adoption.
Most of us are entitled to a replay as well. And, so it's pretty good. It's shiny. I can barely see with the glare. We've got a website. As good as our station, WPMD on the net. Find out about our shows, our hosts, and what's going on at the station, plus the latest music, news, pop culture, sports, and more. Bookmark us. Give us a look. And listen. WPMDonthenet.com. The web presence of the voice of Cerritos College, WPMD on the net, where people make a difference. And I am back here with my guests. Whew, wow, the summer, it's just, the heat, it's just, wow. The weather just goes, it's something how, it's unpredictable how it's been super sunny, and yet, what, I think like a month ago it rained. Like, anyways, so what do you think so far about the have you gone to like the cafeteria and stuff like that?
I did. I had lunch there with Eddie on Friday. We had Eddie, your
Student
government president. We had lunch there. Had a pretty nice conversation. The food was good, and I like it. It seems like a nice atmosphere. There's a lot of students around having a good time, so it's good. I like to spend time around the student activities area too. So it's good. I like it.
Cool. So since you have such a busy schedule and so forth, what do you like to do? Like, when there's nothing else to do in your free time, what do you enjoy?
I like reading. I like to read, and I am also a triathlete. So I stick my workouts in between my schedule. So I run and bike and swim. So I tend to make time for that for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, I need to train if I'm gonna race. And two, I use that time as downtime. You know, if I'm running, I'm not looking at my phone, I'm not taking phone calls. So it helped me clear my mind, do some thinking. So, you go for an hour and a half run, you have plenty of time to think and organize your thoughts. So that's one of the things that I like to do. Same thing, swimming. So I like to swim, and sometimes I swim here at the Cerritos College Aquatic Center. It's a great facility, and the pool is great. So I swim here when I can, or sometimes I swim elsewhere.
And for running, have you ever competed in anything?
I do compete, mostly in triathlons. I have done some competition and running too, but recently most of my competitions I do triathlons. So I did a short triathlon 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think, in Long Beach. Had a really great time, and things worked out relatively well, I think.
Cool. I think it was a year or two ago. Homecoming Float Building was comic book theme. That's another question I like to ask people. Have you been into comic books?
No, not really. I mean, I have, when I was growing up, I used to read them a lot. That's, I guess, how my parents got me hooked into reading through comic books and so on. But after that, no, I don't really know much about comic books.
Any favorite TV shows, type of movies?
Let's see. Don't watch a lot of TV, but there is a TV show that I watch every time I can. It's called, you probably know what it is. It's The Big Bang Theory. It's pretty funny, so I like to watch that show. And movies, I like action movies, and I like movies that talk about things from a historical perspective. So, yeah, that type of movies. But unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to watch TV. So when I do, as I said, sometimes I catch a couple of shows. One of those being The Big Bang Theory, and sometimes I do Netflix. So
Netflix, cool. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here on the Falcon Spotlight. This was the first show of the semester, and sometimes the first couple of weeks is usually the most difficult. Usually, as far as my show, to book people because they wait until week 5 to finalize the clubs.
Yeah.
And so week 1 is like, who can I get? And definitely, I want to thank you because I know that you have so many meetings, so be able to book this guest appearance, thank you for taking the time. But ladies and gentlemen, remember that you can tune in every Mondays live at 11 a.m. and then there is Thursdays 6 p.m. replays and Saturdays at 2 p.m. And then afterwards, I do put it up also on YouTube as well. You can look up Linwood Rob Flores. You can look up my fan page. It's on Facebook. It's Cerritos College Falcon Spotlight. I think as of this morning, I have 93 likes. So thank you everybody who's been clicking like and continue to pass the word to have people like my fan page. So until next week, folks. Well, actually, no. It's a holiday, I believe, right? Next week's the holiday. Yeah.
September 7th.
So the week after that. All right. Goodbye, everyone.